slipped and I have fallen. Don't you worry about me, 'cause I'm stood up, yes I have grown. The pain has set me free. And like a broken record in my head.
Welcome back to Conscious Fever, hosted by
I get enough of you. Bright sneakers on, getting ready for a flashback. Time keeps moving on, looking at you feeling like I could never get enough of you. And I could never get enough of you. I could never get enough of you.
I don't want them, no, get them all off me. Say that for hell, she a cause, you see. 4 cars deep, we'll come through on a late night. Chicken spot, wings and fries, we call that a day night. Lights on, sold out, I don't have no stage right. Knew that I was built for this forever, ever, ever.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
We ride bands, 10 times 10, all my friends. This for
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. It's rated ice time. So listen responsibly.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to Conscious Fever here on ICE Entertainment Television and Conscious Fever Radio. I am Carl Price, your host. I am here tonight with a candidate. She calls herself Monica A. Flowers, proud member of Kappa Alpha Sorority, and she is running for District 3 for Jefferson County Constable. But I'm Carl Price. This is Conscious Fever. Thanks for joining me. I'm dealing with these lights tonight, so y'all can just work with me. What's going on over there? City is still working behind me, but I have a guest in the studio. She's on the other side of the studio. She's a little further down on the window, and we're going to talk about the election tonight. So I hope y'all are interested in talking about the election, because of course I'm a candidate. For those of you who didn't know, I am a candidate. I am running for Jefferson County Attorney. It's time for a change. I'm a Democrat running for Jefferson County Attorney. But my guest tonight, as I indicated, is Monica Flowers, and she is running for District 3, Jefferson County Constable. She gets to carry the gun. That's going to be a part. That's going to be a part of her shindig. But anyway, thanks for joining me tonight. And let me just start off by saying this. First of all, we're going to talk about a lot of do's and don'ts and a lot of the things that you can and cannot do as we approach this primary election. I do want everybody to remember this one thing, that in my race, unlike some of the other races, in my race, this is it. Remember the 1980 championship with the University of Louisville? This is it. Make no mistake where you are. This is it. Whoever wins my primary will ultimately become the next Jefferson County attorney taking office in January 2023. And as I've indicated, I want y'all support to the extent that the FCC requires it. This telecast is paid for by Carl Price, County Attorney. That's an entity, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to say thank you, and I'm sure Monica wants to do the same as well. I want to say thank you for all of my supporters and donors who have donated money to my campaign. You're not going to regret it, especially when you start seeing these commercials. Actually, the commercials are already out. They've been on Spectrum since actually today, and they'll start on the networks tomorrow. I'm not sure about LKY, but we're working with LKY. But Fox, NBC, ABC, so check them out. I'm trying to do my due diligence to make sure that I don't disappoint you all. Also, thank you to everybody who requested and elected to have a yard sign in your yard, a car magnet on your car. I really appreciate that. And especially, a special thank you, Monica. We have to just say a special thank you for those who have early voted.
Yes.
It started today, and it will continue until Saturday. You just go down to the county clerk's office. Well, Monica's going to talk to us about about some of the criteria, some of the requirements for it. Other than having your legs and your mental capacity to go do it, I'm not sure if there's any more, but if there are, Monica's going to tell us about it. So anyway, this is Conscious Fever on Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. For those of you who work so much or don't watch TV, you probably are going to miss my commercial. So I'm going to play one real quick, and then we're going to come back, and Monica's going to join me. We're going to talk about this election stuff until it's time for us to get out of here. Carl Price, Conscious Fever here on Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. Let me see, which one, Monica, should I play? I'm gonna do a commercial, and then right after the commercial is going to be one of my commercials. So we'll be right back.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
I am running for Jefferson County Attorney because I want to be your voice. As a single father, I know what it means to protect our families and those we love. As Jefferson County Attorney, I will continue to protect the most vulnerable members of our community while fighting for true criminal justice reform. It's time for a change in Louisville and all of Jefferson County. On May 17th, let your voice be heard. I am Carl Price, your voice, your vote, your next Jefferson County Attorney.
This ad is paid for by Carl Price for County Attorney.
Mike O'Connell is pushing the court to take this rare step,
arguing that those who say they were victims do not have the right to hide their identity, despite accusations they were raped as teenagers by LMPD police officers.
Mike O'Connell says the alleged victims have no more right to privacy than the men they're accusing.
It's not fair for them to be named and not have the plaintiffs in this case named.
This ad is paid for by Carl Price for County Attorney. Kim Waters Hughes, Treasurer.
I always do this. Welcome back to Conscious Fever here on Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. I am Carl Price, your host. I'm here with Monica Flowers tonight. We're going to talk election stuff tonight. But those were two commercials. Now, one of the commercials you just saw was one that's going to be playing on the air a lot because, sad to say this, as prosecutors are actually victim advocates. So when Mike O'Connell a couple of years ago said that he thought it was only fair to reveal those boys who were sexually abused by the police officers, I think he got it wrong. And so that's what that is all about. We're going to show the whole city that, so the city can make a determination as to whether he's a true victim's advocate, because anybody who has been raped, boy or girl, man or woman, should not be subject to public scrutiny. There's always been this trend and always been this standard to actually keep that, to keep their personal information confidential. And in that clip that you just saw, he argued that everybody should know that, they gave oral sex to a police officer in the Explorer program. Who wants to know that, right? So anyway, just food for thought when you go to the polls, okay? I'm gonna bring my guest in here. Her name again is Monica Flowers. Hey, Monica.
Hey. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you tonight?
I am doing good.
And so you're gonna educate us tonight on some on this election stuff, right?
Yes. I think it's very important for the community to get out there and know what they're doing and get the vote done.
Okay. Let me, I'm gonna make one adjustment here. I hate when I have to make my adjustments, but I'm gonna bring myself over a little bit. Okay, so I can be equal to you. But anyway, so let's talk about this. So first, I want everybody to see. What do you want to talk about first? I'm thinking that I want everybody to see the ballot.
Okay, I'm with you.
Let's talk about the ballot. Let's. I'm going to show y'all a clip of the ballot. So this is the ballot. This is the ballot. It is, as you see at the top, it says United States Senator, then there's a sheriff. So again, there's everybody who's running. And you know, of course, everybody's ballot is not the same, right, Monica?
Yes.
Everybody's ballot is not the same. What happens is because there's Metro District Council races, there's going to be some different names on my ballot than it is on your ballot because we live in different parts of the town. But for Constable and for County Attorney, we're on everybody's ballot, right?
Well, I'm only on the District 3.
Oh, you're only on the District 3, okay. Well, let me, I think I pulled the District 3, and you see there across there it says sample, but you see your opponents are Andre Thomas, Austin Lane, and Kenny Sullivan.
Yes.
And Monica Flowers. Monica is second on that ballot. But as you see, not too far from Monica is Carl Price, David Hope, and Michael O'Connell. I shouldn't say their names, but Carl Price is the only important thing on that ballot. Let me just make sure you all know that. Uh-oh, look at me trying to do some stuff. And there it is. Now there's Pam Stevenson. Anyway, but Carl Price, but I am first on the ballot. So for those of you who actually just want to, for those of you who just come to just vote for somebody, you don't have to go too far down when you get to the county attorney. Just stop at the first name on the ballot
and check it.
Move on, get out of there. So what do you want to tell us about the ballot, Monica? You are only on the ballot for a certain part of town, right? Talk to us about that.
So with District 3 in Jefferson County, it's the Maastricht District, which is bigger than the Metro. And so it starts off at, you got Jefferson County, and then when you split it into 3 ports, I'm the port that is nearest to the river. Okay. And so you start at the top of the river with River Road, and you go down to Nulu and Crescent Hill, and you'll hit Portland, West End, the Portland area, Shavley, PRP, Valley Station, all the way to West Point, and that's my district.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty big.
Yeah, sounds like it's pretty big. And so let's talk about what a constable does. What should the voters expect of a constable? How about we talk about that?
So a constable is a peace officer, and it's really at the hands of the court. So we serve all the legal documents as well. So we out in the community serving these warrants, subpoenas, writs, all your legal documents. And also we hold some authority. It's limited though with the police. We're not a sheriff and we're not LPMD. We constable. And so we hold some of that authority, and basically we focus on public safety.
Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at your flyer, and I'm showing the audience your flyer, and it says, your vote is your voice. Vote May 17th. Meet Monica, native Louisvillian. So Monica, you were born and raised in Louisville.
Born and raised, been here all my life, except when I went off to college, and that was in Richmond, Kentucky.
Oh, okay. So EKU. You're
EKU, yes.
You're Colonel, okay.
Well, I'm a Colonel / Cardinal. I finished up at U of L, where I received my master's in Justice Administration.
Okay. And I notice it says on here, why did I decide to run for constable? So why did Monica decide to run for constable?
Well, and if you know me, you know that I love community service, and I'm always out in the community, working to make things better, looking for a change in our community, and I said I want to make a change. You know, I'm at an age now. You know, you never think that you're getting up in age, and you're like, okay, I'm grown now, and I want to do something. I want to, you know, kind of build a stronger community.
Okay. You know, it also says here that it talks about. Well, first of all, you mentioned that District 3 covers Crescent Hill, Nulu, Portland, West End, Shively, PRP, and Valley Station. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So tell us about. I mean, that's a wide area.
That's a wide area.
Okay. So with that particular area, what are you, as a constable, what are you responsible for in that particular area? And I know you touched upon it just a little bit, but tell us again. I mean, you know, if I'm in Nulu and I need a constable, what would I need a constable for?
More than likely, public safety.
Okay.
Public safety, as well as and you know, there was actually a news article about a constable actually in the same district, and he was kind of I think he used his police efforts, he took it too far.
Way too far.
Yeah. And so I want to change that. I mean, I don't think that people should be penalized to the point because they have a document from the courts, but I feel like somebody that is understandable and can help them out, and maybe they need resources or something like that, and that's what I would like to use this platform for, is to help people to build them up instead of tear them down.
Right, and there's a lot, there's a lot of people tearing down. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm looking at your bio, the flyer that you gave us. But anyway, vote Monica Flowers for Jefferson County Constable District 3. But there are others in your race, and just because you're from Louisville, just because you're a colonel and a cardinal, why? I mean, tell those who are listening, why should they vote for Monica Flowers, as opposed to those other three names we just read off, or two? Was it 3 or 4?
It's actually 4 of us in the race. And if you notice, I'm the only female running.
Okay, that's always a plus.
Yes, and so and like I said before, I want to use this platform to kind of build our community up, to kind of build trust among each other, as well as government, you know, because we always have, we kind of iffy about government. And so that's one of the things that I would love to do, is just to build that trust up and to kind of engage everyone together, to work together. And I mean, I just want, I want to be able to be a solution to the problem.
Right, and we definitely need solutions to the problem. I know there was some other stuff that you gave me, but before we cue that up, I'm going to take another break. And to those of you watching, again, thank you for supporting my campaign. My campaign will be historic. I will be the first Black person ever elected to the county attorney slot here in Jefferson County. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the state. However, for those of you who don't know, there's a young lady by the name of Angela Evans in Lexington, Kentucky, who is actually running for Fayette County attorney. So I guess if we both win, it depends on how quick the votes are written, are counted, as to who really makes history statewide. She's going to make history for Fayette County. I'll make history for Jefferson County. But depending on who's declared the winner first,
that's great.
It's statewide.
Yeah.
Because I saw where she was endorsed by Fayette, the Lexington Herald Leader.
Okay.
That's the newspaper.
Yeah, the newspaper.
Yeah. So But history will be made if we both win. And if I win, of course, history will be made. But I want y'all to remember what I told you. I am the most qualified in my race. I'm the most qualified in my race. And the two individuals that I'm running against, hopefully we can, before we leave here tonight, I'll get the graphic up so you all can see that. But I'm going to take a quick break. Monica, if you don't mind, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to queue up the other stuff that we need to talk about before it's time for us to get out of here. But I am going to show you guys another commercial. This is a little deep, but this is one of the commercials. Because the commercial is only 30 seconds, we had to cut them back. So this is the full version of 1 minute and 11 seconds of a commercial. I am in the park. You know, y'all remember the song, right? Sitting in the park. But I'm not waiting on anybody. I'm talking about my campaign. So we're going to take a quick break. Carl Price, Conscious Fever, Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. We'll be right back. Check this out.
Throughout my 25 years as a prosecutor, I have raised my voice for children who did not have a voice. I have been the voice for innocent families who have lost loved ones to violence. Individuals who demanded fairness, equality, in some instances, a chance to thrive. I am running for Jefferson County Attorney because I want to be your voice. As a single father, I know what it means to protect our families and those we love. As Jefferson County Attorney, I will continue to protect the most vulnerable members of our community while fighting for true criminal justice reform that recognizes that our criminal justice system is powered by undiagnosed mental illness. It is time for a change in Louisville and all of Jefferson County. On May 17th, let your voice be heard and join the movement of throwing out the old and ushering in a new era of leadership. I am Carl Price, your voice, your vote, your next Democratic nominee for Jefferson County Attorney.
Violent 24 hours in the city.
Last night's triple shooting.
Shot several times.
With every shooting in Louisville,
shooting near a Louisville high school,
a family is changed
LMPD
forever.
officers responded to a shooting not far from Western High School around 11:30. There they found a teenage boy dead from a gunshot wound.
This ad was paid for by the committee to elect Carl Price, County.
So, yeah, anybody can cast their votes early, which is the 12th, 13th.
Okay, we're back on. Carl Price, Conscious Fever, Conscious Fever Radio, Ice Entertainment Television. I'm here tonight with Monica Flowers. We're talking about the primary election 2022, encouraging each of you to come out to vote. Please come out to vote. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you don't come out to vote, nothing's going to change. All of these old folks are going to stay in. I say old folks, you know, I'm up in age, but still, all of them are going to stay in. And if you really want true change, you got to get up, you got to go to the polls. And I hope that I've made everybody a little bit excited about coming out, because there's never been anyone of color leading the county attorney's office, okay, heading the county attorney's office, and definitely there's not been anyone of color from West Louisville. You know, those of us who grew up seeing the police a lot, you know, you know, we have a different angle on being in that position than I think some of my white colleagues do. So anyway, you got to come out. You got to come out so we can get this done. I got a call today, Monica, from a couple of friends of mine that said, they texted me. They said, hey, you know, I voted. I just came from voting for you, and so that's good. So the early voting, I guess I'll be like Biden or somebody. I'm ahead in the early voting votes, I guess. I don't know who else is voting. But anyway, I can only tell you what they tell me. But anyway, I'm here tonight with Monica Flowers. She is a candidate for District 3 or 6? 3. District 3 for Jefferson County Constable. We told you what areas of the city that it includes: from New Lou to Valley Station. Wow. West End, et cetera, et cetera. Right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of ground to cover. Anyway, let's talk about some other stuff that you provided us. With these links, let's first of all talk about early voting. What is, first of all, Monica, if you don't mind explaining, what is early voting?
Early voting is really an opportunity, because usually, if you think back in the past, we only had one day where we had to go vote, and we had to vote we had 12 hours to vote. And so now we actually have 3 days to vote early before the actual election. So that's a really an added opportunity that the Board of Election added to elections.
Okay, and I see that, and I want to show this on the screen. So it says early in-person voting. Any registered voter may cast their ballot during early in-person voting. So there's really no restrictions. You don't have to go and give an excuse that you're sick or anything. I remember when I had cancer, I had to go down there before, and I had to state a reason why I was voting early.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like you don't have to do that. Any registered voter may cast their ballot during early in-person voting. Early in-person voting at the following locations. Early in-person voting will be conducted on May 12th, 13th, and 14th. And we told y'all that. And so it has a list of places that you can actually do your early voting, right?
Yes. I think it's like 6 different places you can go to that's all over the city, different places in the city. Basically, it's somewhere close to you.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like, let me see, which one would be close to me? I suspect that
the Kentucky Center
for African American Heritage, 1701 Muhammad Ali Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
But those this looks like Sun Valley Community Center, Broadbent Arena at Fairgrounds, and Phillips Lane. That's probably actually closer since I live in Old Louisville. Triple Crown Pavilion, Plantside Drive, and then 4017 Dixie Highway, the Mary Queen of Peace. Interesting stuff.
And then they got the Jeffersonian that's way out in J-Town.
Okay. Right. Yeah, that's on the list. There's 10617 Taylorsville Road. So talk to us about the basics, because I know that we talk about, Kentucky requires an excuse for absentee voting. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's what you had to do when you was sick and
Yeah, I had to give the excuse, but it wasn't really. The excuse makes it sound like I had to come up with something, but it was really something. So in Kentucky, the polls are open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And people, please don't get up at 5:30 and have to take a shower or put on makeup or find some clean underwear and think you're going to make it to the polls before 6. And I never like talking like that because it sounds like I'm making assumptions about people. And I'm not. I'm just saying, you get a chance, get up, get out and vote. Let's see. Kentucky requires identification to vote. Tell us what that's about, Monica. Just a picture ID, pretty much, right?
Picture ID, Social Security card. You can even grab your credit card and say, "Hey, this has got my name on it."
Gotcha.
And go ahead on and vote. They got these different forms, and which give them us options. So a lot of options than we had before. So I think that's pretty. I guess that's pretty dope.
Okay, so what is closed primary elections? I see that on the list here. I guess we should hit the link, right?
Mm-hmm.
Closed primary elections. And let me see what that is. I'm gonna show y'all this so y'all can see it here. Closed primary election is a type of primary election in which a voter must affiliate. Why'd you do that? A voter must affiliate. Closed primary election, which a voter must affiliate formally with the political party in advance of the election date in order to participate in that party. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like if I were registered as a Republican and I wanted to vote in the Democratic primary, there's a deadline that I have to do it. I have to change my designation.
Yeah, you got to change it.
And I think the deadline in Kentucky is December 31st for the primary or something like that.
Probably in October, a little bit in October, where you have to do it. Probably right around the same time you could, they close the registration.
Gotcha. Okay, let me get back to where I was here. I don't want to do any of that. Uh-oh. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll get back there. So anyway, so tell us some other stuff about this, because all of this stuff is really interesting if you don't know it, right?
Yeah. You gotta do your research, and you gotta look it up to make sure you know where you have to go, what your precinct that you have to go to. You should know, kind of researches before, there's 6 a.m. on May the 17th, know exactly where you have to go to, what time they close. And another thing is that if you are in line at 6 p.m., they do have to grant you that option to cast your ballot. So
if you're in line, you're good.
You're good.
Pretty much you're good. Okay. I know that there is one question that is really popular. In fact, when I was picking up some push cars today, I was telling this guy, I was asking about the magnet on my car, and I said, yeah, I need your vote. He said, I'm a convicted felon. I said, man, that doesn't mean you can't vote. So let's talk about convicted felons and their voting rights. I know that there's a link on the website, the county clerk, but more specifically, you can see that there. A convicted felon voting rules effective December 12, 2019. Those convicted of certain felonies in Kentucky regain the right to vote upon completion of sentence, including prison time, parole, and probation. And you know what that means, right? We all know what that means.
So the governor gave open for them to go and vote. Like, he signed it off. You don't have to do anything. You just got that right given back to you.
Yeah, and so I was talking, and the reason I say that's kind of popular because I was talking to a guy today, and he literally had no clue that, he just looked at me dumbfounded, like, oh, I can? I said, yeah, you may be able to, unless you're still on probation or parole or something like that. Actually, you can do it. Anything else, Monica, you want to talk about in terms of voting that we think, or that you think that the people really should know about this process, because for you and I, this is do or die.
Yeah. And I know one of the important things is that some people are like, well, I don't get off of work till 5:30 and I'm not going to make it to my polls in time. But in reality, your work is supposed to give you time off to vote.
Right. And I saw that, and there are consequences if they don't. Right? Yeah.
You know about that, yes.
And so if you're working until 5:30, the bottom line is you just have to get in line. And once you get in line, even if the line is about an hour long,
you're in there. You can cast it.
Wait if you get in line, because I know if you get in line, I know you're voting for me, because there's no way my opponents will make you so excited to vote for them. So what else should everybody know about the election? And I know because people don't really get excited about primary elections, right? The primary, they just call it the primary and say, oh, I'll just do it in November. And the reality is, y'all, I ain't gonna be around in November. Either I'm going to have already secured the slot, or I won't be in consideration. But the only way I can secure the slot is with your vote. So the point is really simple. It's do or die. Winner takes all.
And so, if I can say this, Carl, that a lot of your primary races is where you get your grassroots people that you want to vote for, that's going to do something within your community, that's going to push to make sure you have funding in your area, in your community, in your schools, and different things like that. So, in all actuality, the primary is one of the most important elections.
Interesting. I see that there's a lot of links on this. Let me get back to this screen. There's a lot of links on here. But Jefferson County Clerk. Just Google Jefferson County Clerk Bobby Holsclaw, and actually Google Jefferson County Kentucky Clerk, because there's a lot of Jefferson counties. Y'all may not have known that. There's a lot of Jefferson counties in this country.
Yeah.
And there's a wealth of information on that website about voting. Your race is partisan, right? Because I think we were going to just sort of talk about this ideal, try to break down the 2022 primary election. There's judicial races, there's constable, there's county attorney, and then there's partisan and nonpartisan. Tell the people what the difference is between partisan and nonpartisan.
So actually, my race is a partisan, is bipartisan. There's basically, in my race, is all Democrats.
Okay.
So with it being all Democrats, the primary election is important because whoever wins that spot goes in November.
Yeah, winner takes all.
Yeah,
right?
and that's that they on the ballot by themselves in November.
Right, and that is the reason, y'all, that you can't just stay home with the primary and treat it like a vacation and say, oh, I'm not going to take it in the spring, I'm going to take it in the fall. Got to take this vacation in the springtime. Because we really need to reset some things here.
Oh, man.
I mean, you agree with me, right?
I'm thinking everybody should agree.
Yeah.
Because everybody went through these last 3 years, just a nervous wreck with everything that was going on.
And during the pandemic, you have 3 people across this country who were brutally murdered.
Oh, man.
By the police. And those who think they want to be the police down in Georgia. But of course, Breonna Taylor and
George Floyd.
And George Floyd. Let me ask this question, Monica. What do you think the impact of what we saw in 2020 here in Louisville? Let's just start with Louisville, because we saw a lot in Louisville in response to George Floyd, in response to Breonna Taylor, of course. What do you think the impact of that will have on people coming out for this election?
Well, it should be a healing process. It's time for us to heal. It's time for us to get something solid back, because these last 3 years has been an up and down roller coaster. We've been going through back and forth with social action, with are we going to get sick or not? So I'm thinking that this should be a healing process. We're looking for change, and the only way to get change is to be a change. So, and it takes each one of us. Right. And you going out to vote, and that's your step toward change.
Yeah, and that is like so important. Because a lot of people don't know, as I indicated earlier, that I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it, that there's a Democratic machine here in Jefferson County. And I don't agree with the machine. I'm going to be quite candid with you. I don't agree with any machines, Republican machines, Democratic machines. Because I believe that this thing is for the people. And when other people come in and try to control it, then you're taking it away from the people. The vote belongs to the people. The choice belongs to the people and the voters. Because I think what happens, Monica, is that when you allow this machine to continue to operate, what happens is you're really taking the whole democracy aspect of this thing out of the hands of the people.
Yeah.
Right?
They lose control.
They lose control. And so really you just have a few people electing people. I'll just tell y'all, when I was campaigning, especially with some of these clubs, I actually did not like it. I did not like it. I'm going to be honest with you, and I hope this doesn't impact who votes for me, but I don't like filling out those questionnaires because they're so biased and they're so, if you get one from Right to Life, and then if you get one from the abortion advocates, you literally, if you fill them both out, one of them you're going to lie on. One of them you're going to lie on. That's that, So I just think, the fairness, all of them, and I'm not saying that, everything in the questionnaire that you might be asked to complete, you may agree with everything, okay? But there were some that I thought were going just a little bit too far in what they were asking about. And I just thought to myself, okay, this is probably not a group that I need to go and talk to.
Yeah, like what do you really want?
Right. What do you really want? So I just think that this election thing is for the people. And that's why I think both of us have been working so hard to make sure that people come out.
Yes.
People come out. Don't let, your employer say, well, you got to work late tonight. Because I really do value this idea of voting and being in a democracy. I mean, I don't think a lot of people understand that the significance of living under or in a democracy, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy to be outside of one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think about what's going on in Ukraine and Russia and China, and there's a lot, in the Middle East.
Yeah, it's about freedom.
Yeah,
Freedom.
It's about just being able to just completely be free. And I don't know if we all could handle a dictatorship of some sort.
I could.
Right? But anyway, y'all, we are talking about this election thing. I'm gonna switch to another screen here and show y'all the ballot. Monica Flowers is my guest tonight, and you see her on that ballot. I'm gonna pan that out some. Those are the individuals that she's running against. She wants to be elected a police officer. That's probably not a fair way to say that. But I would tell you, you mentioned this earlier, that guy that you were talking about that was at Walmart and being too much of a police officer.
Yeah.
He gave a real bad name.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that.
Right.
And I wouldn't give it to you.
Right, and that's not really the ideal of what
Constable.
Before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know the constable powers were sort of modified when the city and the county merged, right? Constables had a much, much bigger role when it was just Jefferson County and Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, that is it. But anyway, Monica Flowers is a candidate. She's on the ballot. So if you live in Nulu, West End, Valley Station, where else? Shively, PRP,
Crescent Hill, downtown.
And downtown, okay.
Uh-huh.
With the exception of about two of those places, they're all majority black. So, I mean, I was shocked to know that Shively is literally any legislature in Shively now is likely going to be black. The mayor is going to be black again. The state representative is now going to be black. I'm assuming the senator, if it's one in that particular area. And of course, we know that was some dealings by the Republican Party, right? To do that. I don't know if they did us a favor or a detriment. I don't know if it's good or bad, quite honestly. But she's on the ballot. I've also shown you all that I am on the ballot.
Yes.
I'm on the ballot for county attorney. You can only vote for one, and you can only vote for the first one. First one that's on the ballot.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I somebody asked me about, whether I'm enjoying it. I think it always feels good to run against somebody that fired you. I mean, every time I tell somebody that, they're just like, oh, that's the excitement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the excitement. Oh, you run against that guy that fired you. Yeah, this is exciting now. I'm actually
They'll get them up to go vote.
Yeah, hopefully it would. But yeah, I'm running against that guy, but that's not why I'm running. I'm running, he just happens to be in the way. I'm actually running because I'm the most qualified person in this race to do it. There may be some other qualified people out there, but they didn't file in time. So I'm it. Most qualified, most experienced. But I do want to show y'all something. Being a prosecutor, Monica, I'll tell you this. Being a prosecutor, it's almost like playing with a beach ball every day, right? And you have no idea which color is going to land on the ground when you throw it, right? Because you have all these different scenarios. But when you're dedicated to doing your job, people respond to you, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to show y'all this commercial that we have out. You can check it out on YouTube, Carl Price for County Attorney on our YouTube page. But this is one that I got actually some years ago when I was a prosecutor from a victim's mother. Actually, I got two letters, and they were both cases from individuals who were involved in cases that I prosecuted. and when I was in the domestic violence unit, and their daughters were the victims, but their daughters were minors, so the moms were involved. But one lady, or two of them, actually, at different times and in different years, actually wrote me a letter. So this commercial is about the letter that was written. So I'm gonna let you guys listen to it. We decided, when I decided to run, that we will put this in audible form, because it's always been in a folder on a postcard that was written to me. But I want y'all to check it out, because you're not going to see this from any one of my opponents, right? This is when I talk about experience. The experience I'm talking about is actually holding the hands of the hurted one, the victims, holding their hands and making them understand that things can get better, and understanding how to navigate through the process to make sure that they get the benefit. Because there is a Victims' Bill of Rights in the state of Kentucky, whether people want to acknowledge that or not. And sometimes there's a clash with the defendant's constitutional rights, which are always superior, and the victim's Bill of Rights. But anyway, I want y'all to take this letter out, and I'm going to come, and Monica and I are going to wrap up here. Conscious Fever, ICE Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. Carl Price, your host, will be right back.
Carl, this letter is long overdue, but I wanted to send it anyway. I want to thank you for doing such a good job in the case concerning my daughter. It was a time of great stress for everyone concerned, and I know that I was not the easiest person to work with at times. You must deal with dozens of cases each week, many of whom are unappreciative and uncooperative. Your job is a thankless one. Yet, in spite of this, I felt like you really cared about the outcome of our case. It did not seem to me as though you were just trying to get it off your desk. I thank you for your hard work and caring spirit. The last time we were in court, I felt like you were concerned about the sentence given to John Klein. I just wanted you to know that he has kept his word to me thus far. I've not heard even a peep from him since that day. He apologized to me and Caroline's father again after court that day. I really think putting him in jail has taught him a lesson. I only wish that could have been done sooner so that this nightmare might not have gone on so long. But I know that has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the way our court systems work. Anyway, I thought you might like a follow-up on the case. My daughter is doing very well now that she is away from his influence. She has begun preparation for college and is applying for scholarships. She's advancing in her job and looking into the possibility of working 2 jobs to save up for college. She's reconnected with the family and is slowly earning her privileges back. She has returned to the caring person she used to be. Again, I thank you for a job well done. Sincerely, Catherine Scott.
All right.
Ready?
Let's go ahead, motherfucker.
What the fuck's wrong with you? Bro, you gotta touch it.
Oh. I was there watching.
Okay.
Welcome back to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price on 97thebeatfm.com.
Carl Price, Conscious Fever here on ICE Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. Our guest tonight is Monica A. Flowers. She's a candidate for Constable, Jefferson County Constable in District 3 here in Louisville, Jefferson County. She's on everybody's ballot, so you don't have to worry about this whole idea that, well, I don't have to talk to her or listen to her because she may not be on my ballot. She's on your ballot, just like I'm on your ballot. And you just got to do it. But we're going to do a wrap-up real quick here with Monica Flowers. So let's wrap up what we've been talking about tonight. Monica, I'll give you the floor.
Okay. Well, of course, May the 17th is your primary election. Make sure you have your ID. There is early voting where the 12th, 13th, and 14th of May. You can go to any of those 6 places listed on the computer he pulled up and cast your vote. Of course, you should cast your vote for me. I am in District 3, which is, of course, Nulu, Crescent Hill, Portland, West End, Shapley, PRP, Valley Station. That's my district, and if you live in any of those districts, Chickasaw, Parkland area, the West End, you can cast your vote for me. And why vote for me? One, because I want to see a change in the community. I'm ready to help be more engaged in what the community is and making the community stronger.
Yeah, and that's, everybody I've talked to when I've gone out, what resonates with them is change. It's this idea of change. We need change. We need, this needs to change, that needs to change. And I really think just the characters need to change. I mean, the system's going to stay the same.
Right.
Although there are some systematic repairs that we all need to make. I mean, you would agree with me on that, right?
Yes,
There's some systematic changes that we need to make. And I'm hoping to do that. One of the things that we didn't touch upon were the nonpartisan races, right? So I'm going to show the ballot.
For the judges.
The judges. You got to understand that, and I think they're on the back, yes. Monica, we are lucky enough to be on the front, and we are, aren't we?
I'm at the bottom, Mama.
No, you are. Let me see. I'm showing this to the people. You are above the mayor.
Well, good.
Yeah, you're above the mayor. So this race, there's quite a few people, and quite a few races. You got the county clerk, which we've all known that Bobby Huskoff has been in there forever. She's a Republican, whether she needs to go or not. It's going to be the will of the people. Louisville Metro Mayor, you all have heard all of those individuals, although some of these people I've never seen, even when I've gone to some of the mayors debates. And then you have the nonpartisan judicial ballot, which you have to turn over. So understand that Monica and I are on the front of the ballot. This is the front of the ballot. You can see that now. With Charles Booker for U.S. Senator, Sheriff's race, Representative, House of Representative, Garvey and Scott, and Louisville Metro Council. Of course, that's going to be different for everybody. I'm in District 5. You're in District 5.
I'm in District 5.
So it looks like Shirlena Watkins, Donna Purvis is the incumbent, and then Sir Friendly C, Ray Barker. And then, of course, you have the state representative down there. I think this is your ballot.
That's my ballot.
Yeah, and Pamela Stevenson. And
that's the 43rd district.
Yeah, Representative Stevenson, I should say. And she's challenged by Robert Robertus Bell. And then you all, Thomas, Flowers, Lane, and Sullivan in the District 3 Constable. Then, of course, the county attorney, county clerk, and then the Louisville mayor at the bottom. And then you have these judicial races, which is the nonpartisan judicial ballot. And y'all really need to be a part of the judicial races because people let those sleep. And we get some idiots elected as judge. I'm just going to say that. They know how I feel. They know how I feel. Not all of them. And they all know that it's not all of them. But there are sometimes we just miss the mark, y'all. But you have an opportunity in the county attorney's race, of course, to elect the first black county attorney. You have an opportunity to elect the first woman in District 3, right?
I believe so. I believe so.
You have an opportunity. This could be a really historic
Yes.
Tuesday be a historic
And
day.
it's all about change.
It's all about change. And with that, De La Guardia, she's gonna kill me if I mispronounce that. She would be the first Hispanic judge. I think she definitely would be the first female Hispanic judge.
Okay.
Now, I believe that there was a fellow by the name of Eichenholz, and I think Eichenholz was Hispanic. He was an old judge. God, he was mean. He was an old judge back when I was a young lawyer. But I think his first name was Leon Eichenholz, and I thought, but Eichenholz doesn't sound like a Hispanic name. But he really looked the part. I don't know what he was, but anyway. But if not the first female, she definitely would be then the first Hispanic elected judge here, because the woman in family court, she was actually appointed, and then she lost her seat to the Delta. What is her name? She's gonna kill me. It's the second time this has happened. I can't remember her name. Anyway, but Yvette will be the first.
Brown, Judge Brown.
Yeah, no, not Brown. The other one. Oh my God, there's like 2 Deltas on family court, and she's one. Anyway, I'll get off this little Greek thing. But anyway, Annette Karam is a sitting judge. I think she's chief judge in district court. She's running in district court. She's running in for the 4th District Court of Appeals. Which is a little bit different for Annette. You got the District Court 7th Division open. You got Tracy Davis and Mary Shaw and Christine Miller in Division 5. Tracy Davis got the first draw. She's first on the ballot.
All right.
That might be a plus for her.
Mm-hmm.
You got Teddy Schaus and Melissa Bellows and Creek Cunningham running in Division 7. And of course, these are all nonpartisan. And because they're nonpartisan, they're on everybody's ballot. Because it's county to county. It says from Odom to Shelby, from Odom to Bullitt, and from Shelby to the river, I guess. And let's see, and then you have some newcomers. So there's actually going to be a newcomer in Division 15. Mary Ju Wolford, she used to be a prosecutor, but Mary Ju, she's married to Will Wolford, who's a pro football player. They have like 4 beautiful daughters. Mary's more than qualified. And you got Claudette Patton and Sam Hayward. But anyway, those are all 3 new names, no incumbent in that particular race. Then you got Nicole Compton and, the Derby field, as they call it, in running for the Division 9 in Circuit Court. Compton, Grant, Lonnie, Sarah Clay, Tim Buckley, F. Todd Lewis. And then you have the 10th Division, Tish Morris, Zach McGee, and Doris Lee Gilbert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so interesting stuff, interesting people on the ballot. Really a good opportunity for us to have a historic stuff happen here.
And so, Carl, and it's important, the judicial race is very important because, and you should really do your research on your people, because when you do your research on your people, you know what their beliefs are.
Right.
And which way they'll go in different situations. So you wanna do that research.
Right, you want to do the research because what nonpartisan really means, if y'all want me to break it down, it means that they don't have to tell you whether they're Democrat or Republican.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the end of the day, so if they're really, Republicans are seen generally the type that are hard on crime, hard on criminals and convicted persons. You have to do your research to determine which one in this nonpartisan pool is actually like that. And then you have, the Democrat, those who are actually Democrats or independents, but their philosophical views are extremely important, right?
Yes, definitely.
And they get a chance to hide those as nonpartisan. Try asking a judicial candidate about abortion, and they'll step away and say, "Well, I can't talk about." Excuse me. I can't talk about that because that may appear in my courtroom. And I'm not saying that they're intentionally hiding, but that's the law. They nonpartisan, you can't, those issues, but they don't have to reveal whether they're Democrat or Republican, so you just don't know. But it's interesting stuff. But it's interesting that you research. Speaking of doing the research, do you have a web page or a Facebook page?
I do.
Go ahead, tell us what your web page is or your Facebook page, and maybe we could find it here and pull it up for the folks.
It is at the bottom of form that I gave you.
Okay.
So the little flyer at the bottom, it's www.monicaflowersforconstable.com. So MONICAFLOWERSFORCONSTABLE.com.
Okay. You know what's crazy? When I Google your name, all the flower shops come up. It's like Flowers by Monica.
Flowers.
Flowers by Monica. Monica Flowers, 1-800-Flowers, same-day delivery.
Same-day delivery.
Fresh Prospect Flowers.
There you go.
Garden
and they ain't lying.
Yeah. And my website, of course, me, I want to, I hit something. I want to show y'all what she was talking about. That's the election PDF. Okay. I don't know what I did with that, but anyway, but my website, for those of you who want to know, is carlpriceforcountyattorney.com, and YouTube page and all this. So listen, so I'm gonna tell them, Monica. I'm gonna tell them what's gonna happen.
Okay.
These next, starting tomorrow, if you didn't know Carl Price before tomorrow, you will by Tuesday.
All right.
Okay. We're flooding the internet. We are flooding the airwaves, the television, and the radio. So I'm just letting you all know, don't get tired of me. You know, I'm not something you can take a pill for. I'm something you can vote and make him go away, right? Make him go and wait until January and
get to work.
And get to work. And get to work. And I guess it would feel good to beat the man that fired you.
Well.
That's not my motive, y'all. My motive is to make Louisville safe again, because I think we can do that if we just think about smart criminal justice reform and not just tough criminal justice reform and all this stuff. That's a discussion for another day. But anyway, Monica, thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having me, and of course, I'm voting for Carl Price.
Well, thank you. And I can't pull up my ballot. I wish I could pull up my ballot and see, but you don't cover Old Louisville.
It goes like it cuts off in Old Louisville, like right there. But
okay.
We'll see. I know it hits Smoketown and.
I'm not too far from Smoketown. Yeah. I'm like on the cups of Old Louisville and then go into the Viaduct, just a half a block away, and you're in Smoketown. So if you're on my ballot, I'm voting for Monica Flowers. Just letting y'all know now. All you other Constable candidates, I hope that doesn't mean I lose your vote, but it's what it is. Anyway, Monica, thanks for joining me tonight. This has been Conscious Fever here on Ice Entertainment Television and Conscious Fever Radio. My guest tonight has been, she's going to wave goodbye, Monica Flowers.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Again, she is a candidate for Jefferson County Constable, District Number 3. So again, if you're in New Louis, West Louisville, Portland, Crescent Hill, a little bit of Old Louisville, Shively,
there you go.
She's your girl. Tonight we've been talking about we've been trying, I think we did a good job at breaking down the 2022 primary election, the judicial races, the constables, county attorney, partisan versus nonpartisan, et cetera, et cetera. So I've got to log off here because I got to get out of this hot place. You know, we moved over here thinking that everything would be okay, and everything is really much, much better over here. But the air conditioning unit in here makes a lot of noise, so we cannot run it. So I'm going to have them to come and fix that this week. So next time we log on here and talk about our victory party. Oh, by the way, where is your? Where's your watch? Where you guys watching it? You don't watch the results from home?
Probably from home. Usually we hook up with Tracy Davis and.
Okay, and that crew.
Hook up with them and.
Last time I was with that crew, I ate some soul food at like 11 o'clock at night, but it was good. What's the name of it? Darts on Main Street, 2nd and Main Street.
That's something new.
Oh yeah, if y'all went, that's where they took me. And if y'all next to the Dasha
Barber.
Woo!
Oh yeah, I forgot she moved down here.
That is some food.
That's fire.
That is some fire food. It's either her or Lucretia that I go to sometimes, y'all, when I need soul food since my mother has passed away. But yes, but anyway, we went there. But anyway, but for the watch party, anybody who wants to come, we're gonna put the flyer out this weekend. My watch party, we're gonna be watching the election results at the Gathering Place, which is 1619 West Main Street. It's a beautiful facility. I went there once for a Charles Booker event. I kind of fell in love with it, but I liked it because of, ironically, the address is 1619. And if you know anything about the New York Times and 1619 and all of that discussion about critical race theory, all of that started this discussion of the critical race theory, it started from 1619, that part of the New York Times. So I'm going to be there, and we're going to be watching. We're going to be there from 5 to 10. It will be a cash bar. Everybody's welcome. You can't miss it because we're going to put one of my big signs out front. Everybody says these guys are big signs. Yeah, it's a big sign because this is a big race. And this is a big opportunity for us to elect the first black county attorney and the first black female District 3 constable.
Yes. Yeah.
There was a black male constable, wasn't there?
Yeah, it is a black one.
Okay.
That's in there now.
Okay. Hey, I think I met him some years ago. But anyway, that's it for us tonight. Monica, again, thanks for coming by. We are going to end this the way we always end it, with these end credits. I wish I could play the Amani, the African group, but I don't have time to listen to it tonight because I'm tired. You know, I have a barber appointment every Thursday at 6 a.m.
What?
Yeah. But I can tell you it's better than sitting in the barber shop. And everything has changed now since the pandemic. And so that's the best time to come. Nobody's there. He has a 6 o'clock, then he has a 7 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
And then he begins his day. And so I love it. It gets me up early on Thursday. But Thursday night, it turns me up.
Yes.
So
go to bed early.
So I got to get out of here. Anyway, Carl Price, Conscious Fever on Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. Remember to vote May 17th. Early voting is taking place right now. Today, tomorrow, and Saturday. Go to the Jefferson County Clerk's website, Google Jefferson County Clerk, election center, and go there. Okay. I didn't know that was even the case, Monica, so they just took you off camera. Okay. Well, good for them. Anyway, I need to end the show anyway. Carl Price, Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. Thanks for joining me. I will see you next week. When I take my victory lap. Good night.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price on 97thebeatfm.com.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it is. Then I go to my brother. And I say, brother, help me please. But he whines.